Hey, welcome to The Explainer. So, we're all getting pretty used to AI, right? You ask it to write an email, whip up an image, and it does. But what if I told you that's just the opening act? Today, we are diving deep into what's next for AI. A new kind of AI that doesn't just answer you, it acts for you.
Yeah, think about that. We're used to AI being a tool that we have to command, one prompt at a time. But what happens when that AI gets a promotion? When it stops being just a simple tool and starts being more like a teammate? An agent that you can give a complex goal to and it just runs with it. This isn't some distant sci-fi dream. It's the next massive wave in technology, and it's happening fast.
So here's the key difference you gotta understand. On one hand, you have generative AI. That's your chat GPTs. You give it a prompt, it gives you a response. It's basically a content creator. But on the other hand, you have Agentic AI. This is a whole different beast. You don't give it a prompt, you give it a goal. Like, hey, plan my entire business trip to Tokyo, flights, hotels, meetings, the whole shebang. Or figure out this customer supply chain problem and solve it. It then figures out all the steps and actually does them. See the difference? It's not just a tool, it's an actor.
Okay, so how does an AI even make that jump from being a tool to a full-on actor? Let's pop the hood and see how this thing actually works.
It basically runs on this constant four-step loop. It all starts with perception. The agent sucks in data from all over, databases, emails, the web, you name it. Then comes reasoning. It uses a large language model as its brain to understand the goal and break it down into a step-by-step plan. Now, this next part is absolutely crucial. Tool use. It actually goes out and executes that plan by connecting to other apps, software, and APIs. And finally, learning. It looks at the result, gets feedback, and figures out how to do it better next time. It's this non-stop cycle of do, learn, improve. Do, learn, improve.
And believe me, this isn't just a theory on a whiteboard. Companies are already using this stuff to run incredibly complex business processes. Imagine an AI agent that gets an insurance claim, automatically checks it against the policy, pulls up all the necessary documents, and drafts a response, only looping in a human for the final say-so. Or an agent that's watching global shipping data 24/7 and, on its own, reroutes a container ship to avoid a storm. This is happening right now.
Now, a technology this powerful doesn't just change how we get work done. No, it's completely rewriting the rulebook for how businesses buy and sell, well, everything. It's giving rise to what people are starting to call the outcome economy.
This chart right here, it perfectly explains the journey we've been on with technology. We started way back with on-premise software, right? You bought a CD-ROM, you owned the tool, and you owned all the risk if it didn't work. Then came software as a service, SaaS. Think Netflix or Salesforce. You just pay a subscription to access the tool. Well, Agentic AI unlocks the final step, outcome as a service, or OaaS. Here, you don't even buy access to a tool anymore. You just buy the result you want. And look at that bottom row, the risk? It shifts almost completely to the provider.
And this idea, by the way, isn't totally new. Rolls-Royce is the classic example. They had this brilliant insight with their Power by the Hour service. They realized airlines don't actually want to own a jet engine. They want guaranteed, reliable flight time. So, Rolls-Royce started selling that outcome instead of the product. Their success became tied directly to their customer success, and boom, their market share exploded. Xerox did the exact same thing. Let's be honest. Nobody really wants to own a giant, expensive, complicated copier. They just want copies. So Xerox started charging per copy, turning a huge upfront cost into a simple operational expense, and their business blew up. Agentic AI is now making this exact outcome-based model possible for almost any digital service you can think of, from customer support, where you pay per resolved ticket, to fraud prevention, where you only pay for approved transactions. But, and this is a really big but, a world where autonomous software agents are out there doing business, making decisions, spending money, well, that opens up a huge can of worms when it comes to control and, more importantly, accountability.
The simple, unavoidable truth is that we are staring at a massive governance vacuum. Our entire legal system, all our regulations, they were built for humans and human-run companies. They are just not equipped to handle millions of autonomous software agents making deals with each other at the speed of light.
Which brings us to the central question, the billion-dollar question, literally, that every single company is going to have to answer. If an AI agent that you deploy goes rogue and makes a catastrophic mistake, who foots the bill? Is it the developer who coded the AI, the platform company that hosted it, or you, the end user who gave it the goal? It is a legal maze with no clear exit signs.
And don't think this is just some academic debate. This is happening for real. In a landmark court ruling in July 2024, a judge decided that the AI provider Workday could legally be considered an agent of its client. The implications of that are staggering. It suggests that the companies building these AI agents could be held directly responsible for what they do. That is a fundamental shift in legal liability.
So if AI agents are going to be taking on more and more complex tasks, that begs the most personal question of all, doesn't it? What does this mean for us? For our jobs?
Well, a ton of research from places like the World Economic Forum and McKinsey all point to the same thing, a major polarization of the job market. They call it the barbell effect. Imagine a barbell, right? Heavy on the ends, thin in the middle. That's what's happening to jobs. Demand for certain high-level skills is shooting up, while demand for routine, repetitive tasks is just falling through the floor. The middle is getting hollowed out. So what's on either end of that barbell? Well, on the high-demand side, you've got the skills that are uniquely human, the things that AI can't replicate. Critical thinking, genuine creativity, leadership, emotional intelligence, plus, of course, the advanced tech skills to build and manage these AI systems. And on the low-demand side, you guessed it, all the routine cognitive tasks and repetitive manual work that AI agents are getting incredibly good at.
So what this really means is that the story isn't about humans being replaced by robots. It's about our work being completely redesigned. The future doesn't belong to the AI, it belongs to the people who can learn how to effectively collaborate with AI, to treat it less like a tool and more like a digital colleague.
And this collaboration, it produces incredibly powerful results. I mean, just look at healthcare. One study found that when human radiologists partner up with an AI to review scans, the error rate in spotting cancer drops by nearly 10%. That's amazing. The AI does the heavy lifting, the tireless pattern recognition, and it frees up the human expert to do what they do best, use their judgment and make the critical call. It's about augmenting our abilities, not just automating our tasks.
Okay, so as we start to bring this all home, what are the most important things to keep in your head as we step into this new agent-driven world?
Let's boil it down to 5 key takeaways. First, forget about the sci-fi dream of artificial general intelligence for a minute. The real, immediate disruption is coming from agentic AI. Second, trust. Trust is the new currency. Without it, the most powerful and valuable uses for this tech are completely off the table. Third, business models are flipping from selling tools to selling guaranteed outcomes. Fourth, we have to get ahead of this. We must proactively design the rules and governance for this new economy, or somebody else will. And finally, number 5, the future of work is a partnership. It's about humans learning to lead and orchestrate teams of AI agents.
Look, this shift to an agent-driven world, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when, and it's coming fast. It holds the promise of unbelievable efficiency and progress, but it also carries very real risks. And that leaves us with a fundamental choice, the one you see right here. Will we be the architects who thoughtfully and ethically design this new world? Or will we just be its inhabitants, forced to live with the consequences of what others build? The choice, right now, is ours. Thanks for joining The Explainer.